Hello fellow makeup lovers, how are you guys doing today? We are going to be decluttering my foundation collection. As you can see, there's a lot of foundations here for somebody who only has one face. So I'm not gonna blabber on too much. Let's just jump on in. Okay, so starting off with all of my traditional foundations, just like a liquid in a bottle, it is what it is. I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3. I have 21 of these, and some of them I do have more than one shade. So I'll just start off with the foundations that are absolutely not going anywhere, that I had to go unpack from my suitcase that I'm packing right now. It was in my travel makeup, which means you know it's real. So one of those is going to be the About Face foundation, specifically this shade F2 Olive. It's a little bit too deep for me, but it is such a good olive undertone. I've recently realized that I need a little olive in my foundation. I think it looks so much closer to my skin tone. It adds life back into my face, especially a lot of really pale shades. I feel like this tone is what they're missing for me. I did do like a little short on that if you're curious and you want to see like this and the other shade from About Face, their lighter neutral shade, is like my perfect match. But as of right now, I have been using this with every single foundation, mixing it in with everything that I own. I'm sure I'm going to go through this foundation very fast because I can't do my makeup without it at this point. So this was in my travel makeup bag, and like I said, I do have the shade F1 as well, which I do really love. I feel like it's just such a pretty natural foundation, and I love these two mixed together, but F2 is my favorite, so definitely keeping those. And then I also had the Pat McGrath foundation in the shade Light 2. So I really like this mixed with the olive tone as well, and this has just been my go-to foundation combo, I would say, the last few weeks. I think it looks like it's adding a perfected layer to your skin, but it's not heavy, it's not cakey. It's just like a good everyday wear. So I figured I would bring that as well. I'm gonna have to remember to put everything back where it goes. Can you imagine if I just go and I don't have any foundation? And then I also had the Laura Mercier foundation packed as well. This is the Real Flawless. And I had a love-hate relationship with this foundation to begin with because I felt like certain things that I was putting it over made it look weird, and it just did not look beautiful every single time. And I was kind of like, for all that hype, for the price, like I need it to look beautiful every time. But I've realized that if I use this over the Merit Great Skin Serum, it is beautiful, like the most flawless, well, I mean flawless as in like glowy, like not necessarily that you can't see any imperfections. It's gorgeous. It really is. Like, it's a beautiful skin look. So I figured I'd bring this with me as well, just because it's kind of a different vibe than the other foundation that I had. Okay, and then let's see. From here we have two foundations from Haus Labs, and I have the shade, what are you? Gosh, it's so hard to read these things. So I have 015 Fair Warm, which was too light for me, and I have 040 Fair Neutral, which was too dark for me. So I've been mixing the two of these together, and I do like this foundation. I feel like it's very glam. It looks really good throughout the day. I feel like that's where this stands out compared to my other foundations. It just has really nice lasting power, and it also lasts beautifully on my dry skin, even my nose. Like, that's just my trouble spot. Most foundations wear off of it or like get kind of crackly and dry on my nose, and this does not. It stays looking gorgeous. So I like it, but I wouldn't say it's moved to my top favorite foundation. Like, I didn't feel the need to bring it with me, so that says something. But I also really want to try this shade mixed in with the golden undertone, and maybe I'll like that. It could look good. But yeah, so I'm gonna keep them. I do like them. Keeping. And then let's see, something easy to get rid of. I have the ColourPop Pretty Fresh foundation, and I just don't like these that much. I have the shade Fair 03C and then Fair 10N, and I don't know. I feel like this foundation kind of looks cakey on me, and sometimes I'll reach for it when I'm doing face swatches because I'll do my foundation and then I'll like wipe it off and then like just basically just use foundation over and over again. It's not a foundation I love. That's when I always reach for these. So I feel like that tells you that I don't like them that much. I think for being like a hyaluronic hydrating foundation, it actually doesn't deliver that for me at all personally. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and declutter those. And then also while we're there, another one I can declutter is the Flower Get Real Serum Foundation. I feel like I tried a few things from Flower Beauty. I was seeing some hype and I do like the blush, like the blush wand. I really like that actually, but I feel like everything else I've tried, I've kind of just been like, it's okay. Like, it's okay. But realistically, am I gonna reach for this foundation over like the Laura Mercier? Absolutely not, because I did compare them because they're both like serum-y foundation, like Get Real, like they had like a similar name. So I actually tried one on like half my face and then the other on the other half, and I just thought that this looked, it kind of looked like trash compared to Laura Mercier. Just on my skin personally, like if you love this, no hate at all. But yeah, that's gonna be a declutter. Another easy declutter is this foundation. This is from Ofra and it's just a white foundation. I've been keeping this around because, you know, I feel like I used to need white foundation more than I do now. I don't know if it's just that like foundation ranges continue to expand more and more, and finding the right shade has been easier and easier. Finding a light enough shade has been easier. But then also I think that I've spent more time outdoors and in the sun, especially since I moved a little more south, and I think that could contribute also to not needing this anymore. And I also have foundations that are very pale. Like for example, the House Labs foundation, super pale. I would rather mix a very pale foundation in with my foundation to make it look more natural than having to mix a white, because I feel like you have to mix it more and it's like, it works. Don't get me wrong. It's just slightly more complicated and it takes a little bit more time. And I don't know, I'm going to declutter that because I have not used it at all. I have other things that do that for me, or I don't need it as much as I used to, a combination. And then let's see, I have the Maybelline Skin Tint here, which I did not include with the skin tints because I have that category coming next. But the reason why is because I don't feel like this looks like a skin tint at all. I feel like it 100% looks like a full-on foundation and it looks really beautiful. I feel like I was rushing through that word. It looks really beautiful. I have the shade 110. I love that it's like a little dropper. I think it has like a nice glowy natural finish, but it still has a decent amount of coverage. I really like this one. In fact, yeah, I'm looking around. I think that this is my favorite drugstore foundation, in case you're curious. So that's gonna stay with me. And then I have these Dewdrop foundations from Surratt. And I was really excited to try these, but I don't like the packaging at all. So it has like this like little like thing to push on the bottom. And then, oh, I haven't tried this shade. Okay, that's shade 2. I have shade 1.5 open and it has like a little thing and you like push the bottom to get it out. And I just truly hate it. Like I feel like it's so hard to get product out and you can only get a tiny little bit, but then that tiny little bit doesn't even go that far. So I don't know. And oof, with nails, like you can't even get in there. You cannot get in there. So I'm gonna put these in my maybe. I could actually probably pass this on to someone else, but then it's like, why am I passing on something that's like really hard to use? I don't know. I received these in PR. So I don't know, maybe if there's something I can use to like stick in there instead of trying to use my finger, I'm gonna put these in maybe. I'm gonna keep testing them out because I've only used it a few times, but so far I don't like that. I don't find it to be user-friendly. And I feel like I'm just at this point where I have so much makeup that if it's not user-friendly, it's like, what am I even doing? Oh, I don't know where it is. I'm missing my It Cosmetics, my other foundation from them. Their original CC Plus, absolute favorite. I love it so much. I'm sure it's out somewhere because I was using it. So good. This one, the Nude Glow, I don't really like. It's supposed to have like, I think a little more coverage and it says it's like a brightening glow serum, but I think this one looks cakier on the skin. It does have a better shade range, which is why I was drawn to try it in the first place. But I just think that like compared to their other foundation, the original CC Plus, it's mediocre. It's mediocre at best. I hate decluttering it because it's like, you know, it's not that used and I paid like $40 something for this. But I don't like the way it looks on the skin. And the last time I even used it was in comparison to the e.l.f. dupe. And I don't like the e.l.f. dupe either, which I don't know. Does that mean like that they did a good job? Because like I feel like they look the same. I just don't like either of them. So I'm going to declutter both of these actually. Okay. And then let's see. I've got, this is new to me, the Makeup Forever HD Skin Hydro Glow. Purchased this very recently. I have the shade 1 and 100, which again, I think this looks so much better mixed with the About Face foundation. I've also used it like that, and this makes it even glowier because it's a very hydrating foundation. I feel like this is one of the only foundations I've tried recently that says like, oh, it's hydrating, it's dewy, and then I put it on my skin and I was like, you know what? I see it, and you're right. As someone with dry skin, I just feel like when a foundation says it's dewy, my skin just soaks that up. Soaks it up so fast, like there is no mercy. So I've really been enjoying this, and I'm gonna be keeping that. And then something I'm kind of like about, but I'm gonna keep, is the Natasha Denona Foundation X. It's the full coverage in the shade 3N. And the reason I'm keeping this is because this is more of a matte foundation, and I don't know if you've noticed so far, but I have not mentioned a single matte foundation, and that's because I'm not a matte foundation girl, but I feel like I should keep one. I should have one on hand. If there's ever a day where I'm like, I just want matte skin, then I have this. So I'm gonna keep it. I think it looks nice. Like it's not my preference, but it's not a bad foundation. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna keep that. And then I also have the Beautiful Skin Foundation from Charlotte Tilbury. This is in the shade 1 Neutral, and this is also newer to me. Really been enjoying this. I wish the shade range, I wish it was just like the tiniest bit lighter. I feel like this is like a very summer shade for me, but I do think it looks beautiful on the skin, and I love this packaging. Personally, this is my favorite packaging for any foundation because I think it looks nice. It still has the pump. You can literally squeeze every last little bit out of it versus like a bottle, and you also don't have to worry about dropping it and breaking it. So I feel like this has got a lot going for me personally. And then I have the Yummy Skin Serum Foundation from AMYLOVES. I really don't like this. I feel like I keep trying to make this work because I love AMYLOVES, but I just don't. So I'm going to declutter it and say no more. I have these two foundations, which I actually think are quite similar. The LYS Triple Fix Serum Foundation, and I think this is LG1, Light Golden one. And then we have Kosas Revealer Foundation, and this is in the shade Very Light Neutral 100. I feel like these are both like glowy, light medium coverage, just looks healthy on the skin. This one does have SPF in it, so I like both of these. I feel like, again, these are just very simple everyday foundations for me, and I do feel like this one from Kosas is another really, really good shade match, so I'm gonna keep those two. Okay, here we have my skin tints, which I have, what is this, 8? I don't know why I can't count today. So first of all, an easy declutter is this L'Oreal Skin Paradise Water Infused Tinted Moisturizer in the shade Fair 01. This, I know it looks full, but it is empty. I have completely used this. I loved it. I think that it is a really good tinted moisturizer. I actually apply this one with my hands, which I almost never do, but it's just like a very good on the go, like, oh, it has texture to it. Okay, I never realized that. It's kind of cute. It's like a little raindrop. Just a very good on the go, super easy, like slap it on your skin type of skin tint. I would repurchase this. I definitely would. I really like it, but it is gone because it is empty. And then we have the NYX Bear With Me Tinted Skin Veil, and this is in the shade Pale Light, and I've gone through probably like 3/4 of this, and I do really like it. It's actually discontinued. I really enjoyed using this to mix in with other foundations just because it's like a very pale shade, and I feel like I can mix it in with something a little bit heavier and get it to be a little bit lighter on the skin, lighter in color and in texture. So I like this one. I'm going to be keeping it. I also have this Wet n Wild Tinted Hydrator, which again is like another very easy slap it on your face type of product. I like it. I'm going to keep it because there's nothing wrong with it, but we'll get to my favorite in a second. I've got Rare Beauty and the Fenty Skin Tints. I feel like I like both of these, but it's one of those things where I feel like they just do their job. Like I don't I'm not passionate about them. I don't have so much to say about them. They look good, but they're skin tint. Like, how much can you say about a skin tint? That's how I used to feel. But, put those to the side. I'm keeping those. The Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Serum Skin Tint. This is the most beautiful skin tint ever. Like, if you are a skin tint girl or boy, this formula is so beautiful on the skin. It's really hard to describe. It just has something to it. It hydrates, smooths, corrects. And I feel like a lot of skin tints like kind of almost overhype what they do. But this one, I feel like it truly makes my skin look better, even if there's not very much more coverage. You know what I mean? Like, it almost looks like a foundation, like a light foundation, but it just also is so weightless. And I love it. I have the shade 2. Just gorgeous. If I could only keep one skin tint, it would be this one. I'm gonna keep the other ones, you know, because I still use them. Like, I still rotate, but this would be like my desert island skin tint, even though I'd rather bring, you know, like matches or a telephone, something else, if I was trapped on a desert island, you know. I also have this Tower 28 Sunny Days tinted sunscreen, and it says it's a tinted sunscreen. I don't remember how I feel about this whatsoever. But also, oh, it says it expires 08/2023. So that probably is, that's not going to do anything for me. Sunscreen that's expired. Okay, we're going to declutter that, even though it's sad. And then I also have this Kosas Tinted Face Oil, which I've liked. But I don't reach for this a ton. And I mean, I feel like you can see there's like a little dent. Like, I have used a decent amount of it, but it's also very old. And Kosas is a clean beauty brand, so I don't necessarily trust that this would, you know, last as long as something else that is the same age. So I think I'm going to declutter this one as well, especially because I don't have any feelings about it whatsoever. Okay, lastly, we have like stick slash pot foundations here. I've got this Thread Beauty foundation, and it's in the shade 00 Fair. I don't have any feelings about this. I feel like their concealer is so beautiful, so underrated. I've just been talking about it way too much, but the complexion stick, I'm kind of just like, it's okay. It's okay. So I think I'm gonna declutter this. And then we've got the Minimalist from Merit. This is in the shade Silk, and I actually really like this. So, which side opens? Here's what it looks like. This is really good for like throwing in your purse if you just want kind of like a concealer foundation, like in between product that's really easy to blend in. I don't use it necessarily the way that I use my other foundations, but I do appreciate it for what it is. I was sent this in PR. I don't know if this is something I would have purchased myself, but having used it, I like it. I think that it goes with the brand, and it goes with like that effortless, throw it in your purse, just throw it on real quick when you just need a little something. I guess I could try it out as a foundation, like fully cover my face, but I haven't, so I can't speak on that, but I am gonna keep it. And then we've got the Fenty Beauty Foundation. Can you guys believe I haven't tried this yet? I bought it because I saw people raving about it. It's in the shade 1. It's supposed to be like so blurring and beautiful. And look at it, just untouched, sad, lonely. I'm gonna try her very soon. So obviously keeping that. And then last but not least, I have 2 foundations here from Monica Blender Beauty. So I've got the shade 1 and 1.5. 1.5 is definitely way too warm for me. Unfortunately, I did already stick my grubby little fingers in here when I was testing these out and seeing if they, like which shade would be better. So this is going to be a declutter simply based on the fact that the shade doesn't work. And then I have the shade 1, which looks like this, and it's like almost looks like it has like a little bit of moisture building. I feel like it's okay, but I don't know. I think I'm gonna put in my maybe, like just to make a for sure decision, because I've only used it a little bit, and maybe this would be a good product to use similarly to how I use the Minimalist from Merit, where you're just kind of like throwing just a little bit on here and there. When I used it like with a brush and like really put it all over my entire face, I thought it was a little thick for my liking, not necessarily my taste in foundation. But at the same time, like I think I could give it more of a go. So I'm gonna put that in my maybes. Alrighty, y'all. So there is all of my declutters. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 foundations gone, which I think is pretty good. It's a decent amount. And then we only have 3 maybes, which I feel like shows that I'm pretty decisive about my foundations because these 3 are newer to me and I just feel like I need to test them a little bit longer. But I will definitely get back to you on these along with all of the other maybes from the declutter series. Here are all of the foundations I'm keeping. We have got 19 foundations here, which I know, I will agree, is still a lot for somebody who only has one face, but it's better than where we started. And again, I feel, I mention this every single time I finish decluttering. I'm like, I love this little pile. Maybe it's not little to everyone, but to me, this is my favorites. These are staples. I know when I put these on my skin, I'm going to be happy with the outcome. So I really hope that you enjoyed this declutter. Hope it was entertaining. If you would like to see more of my declutters, I have a whole playlist going. I've done, quite a few so far. And yeah, I'll see you again very, very soon. Bye.